Well children, today we are going to see what is Ohm's law, its statement, its experimental verification and very short questions based on the graph. So first we start just by considering this is a conductor and this conductor is connected to a voltage supply. Positive potential is applied to this end, negative terminal is connected to this end P. Electrons will enter through this negative terminal of the battery into the conductor and then they will pass through it. Once they are passing through it, so current will be established in just opposite direction. Once current is there, so how the current is related to the voltage supply, this is all about this Ohm's law. Now from our basic observation we can conclude that more is the number of cell. Like here one cell has been connected and you look the first lecture, then you will come to know that more number of cells has been connected. So in case more and more number of cells you are connecting across this conductor, so you will definitely notice a bigger and more amount of current will be established across this conductor. So that's what the statement is. If physical state of conductor remains unchanged, means what? Because of application of so many cells, when you are administering so many cells, it should not bring any deshape in the format of what conductor, like mechanical stress, mechanical strain, temperature, etc. Means you should not be connecting as many cells that it is going to deform this conductor. One side it is wider, another side it is going thinner, thicker. That way it should not happen. It should not even melt down. It should not have a significant temperature rise. In that condition, then potential difference applied across the ends of conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through it. Now more is the number of cell, more will be current passing through this conductor. So that's what this statement is. If physical state of conductor remains unchanged because of application of voltage like mechanical stress, mechanical strain, it means that the wire should not get deshaped and wire should not be overheated. Then potential difference applied across the ends of conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through it. That is what V is directly proportional to I. What is V? V is the potential that we apply through this voltage source. More is the voltage, more will be current. V equal to R into I. Now this proportionality sign is converted into equality sign by multiplying it with proportionality constant R, where R is a constant and this is called as the resistance of conductor. Okay, the SI unit of resistance is Ohm. So we are just going to see it. Define what is SI unit of resistance. So SI unit of resistance is defined this way. R is equal to V upon I, because V equal to I into R. So R can be taken as V upon I. Now SI unit of resistance is what? Volt per ampere, or it is Ohm. Now this Ohm is represented by Greek letter omega. Okay, now how we define 1 ohm? So 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt upon 1 ampere. If R is equal to 1 ohm, V can be taken 1 volt and I can be taken 1 ampere. Now we go for its through definition. If physical state, therefore if a conductor is subjected to 1 volt potential difference and it causes 1 ampere current passing through it, subjected to no physical change of status, then resistance of the wire will be 1 ohm. Once more, if 1 volt potential difference across the ends of conductor is causing 1 ampere current to come up, then resistance of the conductor will be 1 ohm. Now let us talk about what are ohmic conductors and what are non-ohmic conductors. So ohmic conductors are those conductors which follow Ohm's law. That is what you noticed just now, that V is directly proportional to I. More is the voltage, more is the current passing through it. What are non-ohmic conductors? Those conductors will be termed as the non-ohmic conductors through across which this Ohm's law is not valid. You cannot obtain the V and I relation through this V equal to IR equation. So those which are not following Ohm's law are taken as non-ohmic conductor. Now next note, just now you have seen कि अगर हम कंडक्टर के क्रॉस ज्यादा बैटरी लगा दें तो ज्यादा करंट होगी। तो हमने ऊपर लिखा V इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू I, यानी मोर इज द बैटरी मोर इज द करंट। तो उल्टा भी तो सही है, I is also directly proportional to V. So that's what we are writing, I is proportional to V. But this time to remove this proportionality sign with equality sign, we are multiplying with a new constant, and this new constant is taken as 1 upon R. 1 upon R is a proportionality constant here, and this is called as conductance. It is represented by letter capital G. SI unit of conductance is ohm inverse. Earlier we have seen there was a proportionality constant R. Now this time the proportionality constant is 1 upon R. 1 upon R is called as conductance, and conductance is defined as reciprocal of resistance is called as conductance. Its unit is what? Ohm inverse. Our ohm inverse I am just writing in reverse order, MHO. Now coming to the next part of the same chapter, it is what? Experimental verification of Ohm's law. So how do we do it? So first of all, we try to arrange the circuit as follows. What is this circuit about? So this circuit is having the conductor having capital R resistance. This resistance we have to measure. This resistance is connected to a rheostat. Rheostat is a variable resistance. You change the position of this pointer here, and then you notice that the resistance value, equivalent resistance value of the circuit will change. Okay. Now parallel to this conductor R, we are connecting one voltmeter, and in series to this we are putting one ammeter. Earlier lecture number 1 was there when we learned how to connect the circuit elements, so you can follow it from there. So consider this is what a voltage source, positive of this is connected to this positive terminal of ammeter, negative of it is connected to voltmeter's positive side, and then there is what the resistance and voltmeter is connected in parallel. In series to it we are putting one rheostat. This is connected by means of a key. Now what will happen? First step is that arrange the circuit as follows. Then second step, change the position of pointer of rheostat. So this pointer position can be changed, and record the voltage value through voltmeter and current through ammeter. What will happen? Once you will change the position of this pointer, equivalent resistance of circuit will change, and once equivalent resistance is changing, so it will change the value of current also, and it will change the value of potential in the circuit also. So this changed value or the new value of current and the voltage across this resistance can be recorded by means of what? This ammeter and voltmeter. And then we tabulate the readings observed. The tabulation of the reading is, say, dummy data we have taken. Voltmeter reading is taken in volt, it is 0.3, 0.6, 0.9, 1.2, and then ammeter reading is found experimentally. Dummy data is what? It is 6, 1.2, 1.8 and 2.4. I am just saying it is dummy data, but experimentally the same reading has been observed taking a standard resistance coil whose resistance was 50 ohm, and then there is a formula given by ohm. That is what? V equal to IR. Here we find that R equal to V upon I. This is what the value of resistance. Now the next thing, what are we looking? Plot the graph between the voltage and current, which is a straight line passing through origin. So it is pertinent point. Listen, it very important thing. These readings of current and voltage has been obtained. Now we plot the graph against this voltmeter reading and ammeter reading, and this obtained curve is a straight line that is passing through origin. Now next part, after plotting the graph, calculate the slope of the curve from current axis. It is very important. Now I'll say, in case you want to find out resistance value, then the slope you have to find out from current axis in anti-clockwise direction. Look, this is what? This angle is theta, which is a constant because this line is coming as a straight line, so its slope automatically gets constant, because from this point, even if you consider the slope, the same slope you will obtain from this point, and so on everywhere. This is what a straight line, so its inclination with respect to x-axis is constant and same throughout. This is a constant and is numerically equal to the resistance of wire. Now how to find the slope? Slope we have taken that it is taken as tan theta value. So tan theta equal to perpendicular upon base. So consider this triangle, and how we obtain this triangle. From any point of the curve you drop a perpendicular on current axis, again from any other point you drop the perpendicular on current axis. Now on voltage axis you drop the perpendicular on voltage axis, you drop the perpendicular on voltage axis. This is how you are getting this triangle ABC. Now from class 9th, so many applications have come regarding how to calculate the slope of a speed time graph, velocity time graph, acceleration time graph, etc, etc. So there you just follow how to find the slope. Slope is defined as tan theta, and tan theta is what it is, perpendicular is BC upon base is equal to AC. Now this BC value is representing change in the value of voltage, AC value represents change in the value of current. So slope BC upon AC is equal to delta V upon delta A. It is value of resistance. Now go for the recall. If we calculate the slope from voltage axis, then what will happen? Earlier you have taken that this is what it is, current axis, it is voltage axis, and I advised you, in case you want to find out what is the value of resistance, then you start calculating the slope from current axis. Now coming back, the next thing, in case the slope you are calculating from voltage axis, what will obtain? Then again the reciprocal of that previous slope you will obtain. If previously we have obtained the value of resistance, so now you see, in case we'll calculate the slope from voltage axis, now you know what I'll obtain. We'll obtain 1 upon resistance value, and 1 upon resistance value is what? It is conductance. So in case you want to find out what is resistance, so resistance will be reciprocal of this slope. So it is very important to understand, whenever we have to find out what is the value of resistance, so then the slope has to be taken from current axis, and whenever we have to find the value of conductance or 1 upon resistance, then the slope must be taken from voltage axis. Now look this important question. We are given a conductor A and B, two conductors are there, its VI graph has been plotted. Now in such VI graph you notice that if you consider which one is having higher resistance, so in this conductor you see, if we have to find out what is resistance value, then the slope must be taken from current axis. So this slope is smaller and this slope is bigger. This slope is bigger. So here RA is bigger than RB. RA is bigger because its slope is more. The slope has to be considered from current axis. The slope has to be considered from current axis. Now in case you noticed, so in case which one is having bigger resistance, so we have to find out what is the slope value. This slope is smaller and this slope is bigger. So because this slope is smaller, so RA is less, RB is more. So today children, you have learned what is the statement of Ohm's law, what is its experimental verification, how to find the slope, and some application based question that is based on the graph. Next period we will be just looking some numericals based on this resistance one.